Hello everybody and welcome to Sin City Living. My name is Jason. I'll be bringing you today's episode. Now I've been trying to get away from doing the intros, but I haven't had a whole lot of success with that. So I'm going to have to go back into doing that again, but I'm going to try and keep this as short as I possibly can. I apologize for how infrequently we've been posting videos the last few weeks. Been working a whole bunch of extra shifts, and then I went in and had eye surgery, so I've been recovering from that and still am. But hopefully within the next couple of weeks, we're going to get back to our usual routine of having a decent number of videos coming out for you guys, especially all those exclusive videos for our patrons. We're really trying to focus on giving you guys some awesome content. So for anybody that is interested in that, just go ahead and check the description of the video down below. And I've had quite a few questions, even though we've had this system in place for a little while, quite a few questions on how you can, how our fans can tip us or show appreciation to us, and you can buy us a cup of coffee. We set up a quote-unquote tip jar for that. Again, just check the description of the video down below if you're curious about that. Otherwise, hope you guys are enjoying things. Please email us with anything, strategies you would like to see, questions you may have, videos you would like to see. If you would like to see us do the true crime stuff again, or just the mob stories on Vegas, or the history of Vegas, or restaurants, anything you might like to see from us, please shoot me an email, sincityliving@gmail.com. We love shooting this stuff for you guys. Otherwise, we're going to jump right into today's video. So for today's video, I once again came across a comment that I thought would make a good video. Excuse me. Guys, it's not too often that I have time to go through all the comments. So please continue to email us at sincityliving@gmail.com for ideas, suggestions, things along those lines. We really love shooting these videos for you guys. Still haven't gotten anybody emailing me on the Patreon site for any kind of exclusive videos you guys might want to see. So this one is, it's William, who had a comment not too long ago that we filmed a video for. And his was on the a small few of the things to know before coming up to the table, and he posted up a comment of, from a player's perspective, some of his pet peeves. And these, again, just like before, this is not a comprehensive list, and although I may do dealer pet peeves after I do this one, but I thought I'd go ahead and make a video of it. Now, some of them are really good points. Some of them, I will say that as a dealer, I will slightly disagree with, but I will also explain why. Now, he has, looks like 7 of them. So, the first one, hands in the field. Okay, that one is an absolute. I mean, keep your hands out of the table. I don't understand it, but there is a certain subset of players that seem to think that it is somehow either lucky, the right way to do things, or, well, actually, no, they know it's not the right way to do things, or cool to dart your hand in with a late bet. I see players that hold the chips in their hand. We see them doing this. We know they're going to make a bet. And we're pausing, saying, do you want to make a bet? Do you want to make a bet? Make your bets now. Make your bets now. Okay, dice are moving. And they wait until the dice are in front of the shooter so they can dart their hand out and put their field bet out. And it's annoying. It's not cool. It's not any luckier. It's, 1, stupid, and it's 2, it interferes with the shooter. I will tell you this, when I'm a shooter, if people reach into the table once the dice move, I pick them up and throw them as fast as I can, and I aim for their arm. Because the one thing is that it doesn't affect the roll. You're just as random hitting an arm as you are hitting the alligator skin at the back of the table. So it doesn't affect the randomness of the dice. So I do that to make a point, to tell them, get your damn arm out of the way. And I don't say anything because more often than not, the rest of the players start lighting into the person. Now, one thing that I do semi-disagree with, crowded landing zone of chips. Players place their bets in front of them. We have, I kind of figured it out one time, and it's your area of throwing if you are trying to bounce the dice into the back wall, which is the best way to do it. We oftentimes tell people try and land it somewhere around where the E is, and it should roll itself into the back wall and rebound. It's about 2 feet wide. It's about 2 feet wide. There is plenty of space within that 2 feet. Since these chips are approximately 1 inch wide, there's plenty of space for the dice to land. Now, sometimes they are going to rebound and hit chips. Again, that doesn't affect the randomness of the roll in any way, shape, or form. I can tell you I've just as many times seen a 7 be avoided because it tipped off of some chips as I have it become a 7 from a winner. So it doesn't affect the randomness of the roll in any way, shape, or form. Now, people that put that don't pick up their bets after they've won and just leave it sitting there, that's irritating. But people have the right to bet, and their bets are going to go in front of them. If they're not in front of them, especially in a crowded table, we're going to move them in front of them so it does not look like someone else's bets, especially for the cameras if there happens to be a dispute in any way, shape, or form. The other side of that, too, is we have players that seem to think the cool thing is to throw directly in. For some reason, and I know it's from some of these foolish dice setting, dice control videos of shooting it into the corner. And they throw through the dealer's working area. This is the dealer's working area. I one time had a player yell at a dealer because they were fixing some bets right here as the dice were out. Get your hands out of the way. The dealer looked at him and said, "This is my working area. You have 2 feet to shoot. I can stand up here and tap dance if I want." Not technically true, but I didn't correct it because he's absolutely right. This is his working area. If the dice come through this way, we're going to correct that shooter down the middle. If they keep throwing it this way, we're going to correct them again, down the middle. And if they keep splashing into the bets and stuff like that, eventually we may take the dice away from them. Go down the middle. If this area is crowded with bets, especially, go down the middle. You have 2 feet of table. If you actually get past the pass line, you've got 3 feet of table to work with. There's plenty of space to throw the dice. Second one, people taking space at the rail with no money in the game. Absolutely. And we will kick people off if there are people waiting. If there are people waiting, we will definitely wave them over and say, "Hey, there's open spots right over here," and wave them in to where people are waiting. We do that stuff. We do that kind of stuff all the time. If the tables are dead, the pit's kind of dead, we just have a couple players per side. We've got multiple tables open and they combine for maybe 7 players amongst 3 tables. We're probably not going to say anything. People have looky-loos, their families, whatever, watching. No big deal. No big deal at all. But if it's a busy game, a busy table, then absolutely. Same thing if we've got a player that's betting a pretty decent amount of money and just doesn't like people watching them. That's no problem. We're more than happy to back people off a couple feet. A couple feet. We're not going to tell people to stop watching you because you're in a casino. You're in a public business in a public area, and they are standing in a public area. They are more than welcome to stand and watch if they stand a few feet back. Now, the answer to that, and I have seen players do this if they're the only player on the table, is they stop. They stop and they smoke a cigarette, they go to the bathroom, they get a drink, or they turn to watch a different game. And they wait until the looky-loos leave. Nothing wrong with that either, by all means. You're more than welcome to do that. But yes, people that are crowding the table when they're not even playing. Absolutely. And I'm going to put a caveat. No, you know what? I'm going to save it for the dealer pet peeves. And let me make a quick note of it, though. All right, so if you're the shooter and you want the same, okay, yes, this is a good one. So here's one thing, guys. The shooter, and only the shooter, can ask for same dice. When the rest of the table, or even just one person, starts screaming same dice before the dice have even hit the carpet, I guarantee if the shooter hasn't said anything yet at this point, the dealer is going to dump that bowl as fast as they can. I have seen the bowl get dumped before the die even hits the carpet because it's not your call. It's only the shooter's call on whether they get the same dice. Your superstitions have no bearing on their shot. So the same dice thing, yes, if other people are sitting there screaming same dice, same dice, same dice, we dump the bowl that much faster. If only the shooter can call for same dice. It's nobody else's business. All right, so let's see. Number 4. Okay. Now this is a tough one. Cursing at the table. Now, absolutely, there's some limits. There's definitely some limits to it, but it's going to be a house rule what they do. So, his comment, this needs to be enforced early and often, especially in Vegas. Well, yes and no. Some casinos allow it. There's actually now a few casinos that are 21 and up just to even enter the building. So they may allow it. They may allow it to a much greater extent. For me, when I'm sitting box, the only things that I will not allow any kind of racist verbiage such as the N-word, and I don't care what race the person's saying it is, I'm not going to allow it, and F-bombs. Beyond that, I'm not going to enforce any kind of language unless they are screaming it at the top of their lungs. If people are screaming at the top of their lungs, I'm going to tell them to tone it down a little bit, but I'm not going to correct them on their language. The F-bombs, I will correct them on their language. Same thing with any kind of racist verbiage. However, I have excellent hearing, above average. One of the few things that I got out of the Army with that was still intact on my body. And if people are quiet, just conversational level with their buddy, cussing, even dropping F-bombs and such like that, I'm not going to say anything. I'm really not. A lot of our players, most of our players, blue-collar workers, people just drunk, having fun, as long as they're conversational level, so it's unlikely that anyone more than about 2 feet away can hear them, I'm not going to correct them. When they are screaming at the top of their lungs, I'm absolutely going to correct them. When they're cussing other people, I'm absolutely going to correct them and stop it. And I will tell you that is the number 2 reason that people get kicked off the table. And let's see here. Okay, number 5. This is the one that I will disagree with some caveats. It's buying in mid-shoot. Now, he says Craps Etiquette 101. Yes and no. Yes and no. If buying in mid-shot was not allowed, then it would be just like at the blackjack table where they say no mid-shoot buy-ins. It's allowed for a reason. People are more than welcome to join the game at any time. However, mid-shot buy-ins and not placing a bet is absolutely a pet peeve of the dealers, the box, and the shooters. If someone wants to buy in mid-shot and they're going to make a bet, then by all means, they have every right to bet on that shot. Every right. Should they wait? Well, it kind of depends. If it's a super fast game, I'll tell you, I would wait. If it's a super fast game, I would wait. If it seems to be a slow game, then as soon as the dice land, I might throw my money in and right as the dice land before they even bring it back to the middle of the table, so they have time to make my change real fast without interfering with the shooter at all. And I'm also going to pay attention to pick my money up really fast. It is very frustrating when people do a mid-shot buy-in and then leave their money sitting there because they're not paying attention. Pay attention. Excuse me, caught a little bit of a cold. All right, number 6, crowding the shooter. Yes. Looky-loos, newbies, so on and so forth. Crowding the shooter is definitely a pet peeve of many, many shooters. However, I cannot step in to most things. It's not my place, and I have no right to step into most things until one or the other has said something. I have seen a shooter being crowded by I won't call her an attractive lady, but by a young lady that was very much in his personal space. She was practically in his pocket. And I can tell you that even though she walked up after he started shooting, I have no idea if he knows her or not. No clue. None whatsoever. I can't tell her to back off. Now, when she turned her head, at one point I asked him very quietly, "Do you know her?" He said, "No." It's like, okay. And then I asked her to back off because he was the shooter. When people come up and start crowding the shooter, I have no idea if they are friends of the shooter, or people the shooter knows, family, coworkers. I have no clue. And I'm not going to correct them. I'm not going to back them off unless the shooter says something. If the shooter says, "Hey, can you give me some space? I'm shooting," and they continue to crowd, now I can step in. Now I can step in. Now I can deal with it. There's a lot of things that I can't just arbitrarily make the decision for the person that this is not allowed because I don't have all the information. So, we will definitely step in once you make it known that it is unwelcome. And his last one is he always tips. And his reason, because he always wants to be reminded of what the full odds are and anything else he may forget. Oftentimes, the dealers are the ones that will remind you, "Hey, your hard 6 came down," or "Hey, don't forget to put odds back there," or, "Hey, your comeback from the last winner still needs odds." The dealers will give those reminders. Absolutely, absolutely. Now, people that tip the shooter and don't tip the dealers, well, the dealers just assume that shooter is now going to remind the player when they are forgetting the stuff that they typically bet. So absolutely, and of course, if you're just pleasant on the table, the dealers are likely going to remind you. The thing is, well, a lot of people are going to say, well, that's the dealer's job. Yes and no. The dealer's job is to book your bets, the bets that you make. The dealer's job is not to bet your money for you. So telling you, hey, you forgot this, or hey, you forgot that, that's not the dealer's job, for one. And for two, it's a double-edged sword, because there are a lot of players that throw a real big attitude to the dealers. You know, oh, you're just trying to make me lose money, or don't tell me how to play, or I've been playing longer than you've been alive, so on and so forth. To where the dealers are very cautious about reminding players about basic things that they think they should have. So, you know, there's that. So, yeah, overall, this is an awesome list. Thank you, William. If anybody else has any stuff, please email it to us. I'd be happy to shoot another video, another follow-up of more pet peeves of the players. And by all means, include pet peeves that you see on the dealers' parts. I would love to address those. There are definitely many things. I mean, there's a lot of things that dealers do that are pet peeves to me that I absolutely cannot stand. So, absolutely, shoot us some emails. And I hope you guys find this interesting, illuminating, enlightening, or at least just plain fun. Thank you very much, William, for sending this to us. We'll catch you next time. Bye now. Thank you, everybody, for watching today's video. And as promised, a little bit more detail on things that we are working on. So, again, we want to continue trying to expand the channel. We're really hoping to be able to add roulette as soon as possible, and then some video keno, video slots, stuff along those lines. Unfortunately, it ate up almost all of our cash, paying off all of our bills during the month of January while we were down. And now that the holidays have ended, YouTube's payouts have dropped significantly. So we're kind of treading water here as far as all that goes. Do have a lot of things we want to add, though. Not just those things, those additional games, and hopefully some carnival games and such like that, but the live streams. The biggest problem right now with the live streams is with 3 jobs combined between the 2 of us, 4 if I include the 20 to 30 hours a week I'm putting into the YouTube channel. It's very, very difficult for me to have a day and time that I can commit to doing the live stream every single week, because we also have our very young child to take care of. But I'm trying to figure that out. I'm thinking it's probably going to end up being on Monday nights or Tuesday afternoons, or possibly both. I intend to do at least one live stream exclusively for our patrons, and then another one on the YouTube channel. So possibly both days. We also have a few other things that we really want to attempt to move forward on. I'm just running into either time or skill set issues. I do want to eventually have a website going for us. I did used to program websites over a decade ago. A lot of things have changed, and I just don't have that time. And not a whole lot of knowledge on the current state of building websites, hosting what sites can host, and how to build up the e-commerce stuff. So if anybody has any skill sets along those lines and would like to answer some questions or just help us out, shoot us an email, sincitylivingLV@gmail.com. Also, I really hope to be able to start adding some exclusive stuff from Sin City Living, logoed shirts, hats. I'm looking to get custom dice made, even custom layouts made, although those would be pretty expensive. But I know zero about e-commerce and drop shipping and anything along those lines. So if you have any skill or knowledge in that area, please email me. I would love to ask you some questions and see if you can answer a few to help me figure out how to get that going. Same thing with designing our logos. I had some logos designed, very, very small logos, unfortunately, not big enough to blow up to put on t-shirts and stuff like that. And again, I know I know nothing about logo design, graphic design, any kind of websites that could do it. I literally know nothing. So if you have any skill or knowledge in that area also, please email me, and you're willing to answer some questions, please email me and let me know. I'll admit I don't even know where to start as far as asking some questions, but I'm sure I'll ask a few, and that'll trigger a few more, so on and so forth. So yeah, there's that, and of course we do hope to continue to improve our AV setup, but I am an AV moron, so Also right there, if you have any skill sets or knowledge in that area, please email me and are willing to answer some questions. Please email me and let me know. We would love to help. Otherwise, again, thank you everybody for watching, and we're very excited to continue bringing you our videos. Bye now.